what's going on, guys? Chris Bond here, Overtime Athletes. So for today's video, I'm actually bringing you a basketball workout. I had one of the athletes that I had the pleasure to work with this week travel to me from Colorado via American University, where he plays Division I basketball. And essentially what I did was he came in, he wanted a program. I ran him through some assessments as far as mobility, stability, stuff like that. Day one. Day two was a little bit more of power, speed, how he moves. And today we're actually gonna go through a kind of a workout to mock what he's gonna do as I write his program out for him that he's gonna do. So this allows me to kind of run him through what I expect and my expectations as an hour workout and the pace that I'm trying to get, the tempo of the actual workout, and kind of run him through a couple different moves that I wanted to see. There was a couple things I saw with him through the assessments that I wanted to address. We addressed those yesterday, so this is more of the actual workout. So he's a shooting guard. To give you a little bit of background, great catch and release shooter. He wants to bring up his physicality, his athleticism, so that he can, start being more versatile. Obviously, if you guys know, the terrain of basketball has been changing ever since that the big man can start to shoot. Hell, everybody on the court has to shoot now. And so if you're a shooter, you need to have that other element too. You need to be more athletic. You need to be able to defend really well, be able to rebound, bring a different element to your game. And that's what we really wanted to work on. We started off the beginning of the session with some mobilization and warm up like we do any other one. We're gonna go 5, shoot that straight back. Biggest circle you possibly can. Bring that knee right by the elbow. Straight back, shoot it straight back. All the way as high as you can. Up. Come back with it. Come here. Boom, get it as high as you can. Get that knee as high as you can, knee as high as you can. See how your knee is going straight down? I want to get that knee as high as you can. Open up that hip. Damn, big dog, tight. I wanted to kind of show him, he's very tight in his hips, and that's one thing that, and especially in the shoulder. So those were a couple stretches that I wanted to show him to, again, start to things he's going to be doing outside of here on his own. Next, we move to a little bit more what I call, I like to refer to as proprioception, a lot of stability, a lot of balance, a lot of coordination. We started off with some 3-way toe touches. Just single leg, 3-way touches, okay? So all I want you to do is you're gonna stand right here in the middle of this. I want you to sit on one, keep the core tight, everything's tight. You're gonna sink down, touch, come back overhead. Sink down, touch, come back overhead. Sink down, touch, come back overhead. You're gonna go one all the way back, right? And that's 1 rep. Then you're gonna switch legs, go opposite. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's 2 reps, that's 1 set. Okay, let's go. And this was just, again, for him to be able to work that balance and that coordination, because I saw that was something that he could really utilize. And then I paired that with a lunge with a twist. I'm gonna hold this here, my feet are stacked right underneath my shoulders, right underneath my hips. You're gonna lunge back. The leg that you lunge back with, you're gonna twist oppositely at the same time, simultaneously. Click this dowel rod to your back heel. So it's gonna look like this, boom. Twist, go all the way back. Each and every time, does that make sense? Good. Good, get it all the way back to that heel. Twist for me. There you go. Drive that end of it down. Good, come straight back up. Start with it higher, there you go. Rotate, try to get this to that back heel. There you go. So I wanted to integrate his body by adding a lunge, force coupling that with a twist rotation. Again, I'm starting to integrate that body, get him moving in multiple planes of motion. Next, we moved on some change of direction. This isn't something I'll spend a lot of time on, especially if he's adding all that time as far as a collegiate basketball player, but I wanted to see how he was moving in his change of direction, so we did some lateral shuffle drills, and I just make sure I work him and see if we can do it with a reaction component involved. Next, we moved to approach jump. As far as the approach jump goes, I wanted to mimic a little bit more specific to what he does, and I wanted to progress it by raising his hands. Then we went over to a seated jump where it was more static position, and that's really what I'm gonna work a lot with him in his program, is just moving from a static position and being able to produce force. Finally, we got into our lift. As far as the core compound lift goes, it was squat. I wasn't able to test it the other 2 days, and I saw that he noticed he had a drop in his left leg. And at first I thought it was a navicular drop, and I said, I don't know if it's that or the actual glute turning on. He has pretty good arches, so what I noticed was I went ahead and taught him how to properly turn on his hips. Get as wide as you need to. If you need to put those toes out a little bit, go ahead and put them out just a little bit. They don't need to be straight, just put them out just a little bit. What I want you to do is, as you're lowering yourself, think about driving your knees out as wide as you possibly can, okay? You're gonna do that by screwing your feet into the ground. Drive your feet down into the ground and push out. Does that make sense? So it's just gonna go, and as you drive down and out, the knees are gonna automatically spread. But think to myself, knees out, knees out, knees out. Same thing when you're coming up, keep the knees out. The glutes need to take over. You have a little bit of a navicular drop on this side where your ankle caves in like this. It's putting a lot of pressure on that knee, okay? If we ever want to continue to get more athletic, that physicality we're talking about, we have to correct this by firing this hip, okay? So I need you to keep those out. Really focus. I'm not going to go heavy with you today. I just want to see you be able to nail this down. This is very important for you to be able to do when you're out there, all right? Let's go. A little bit wider, toes out just slightly, but they're safe, that they're even. Good, that looks good. Now screw those feet in the ground, screw, 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 knees out, knees out, knees out, even on the way up. Knees, 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 knees. That's your best rep. Let's go. 3, screw them in the ground, screw them in the ground, screw them in the ground. Good. Force it on the outside of that foot. Force the weight on the outside of that foot. Force it, force it, force it. Good. Force it, force it, force it. Good. Then we moved over to our auxiliaries. Pretty straightforward. They were pretty tough for him, so I just wanted to make sure that I could get them mechanically correct so that he can go and then start to build up in the resistance. So we did Bulgarians and we did single leg bridge to really fire that glute and that hamstring. What you're gonna do is hands on the ground, just like that. You're gonna drive your right leg up into the air. Good. Now I want you to drive off this heel, and I want you to push your hip up as hard as you can right now. Push, 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 get it up. Good, as hard as you can. Rest. Up. Push, 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 push. Rest. Good. Up. Push, 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 push. Rest. Good. Other leg. Finally, we ended with some anti-rotation, a lot of core stability, and finished off with firing those hips one more time in a more dynamic manner where he was doing hip circle, lateral shuffle for reps, 10 yards down, 10 yards back. So that's the workout that I put him through today to kind of show you guys. Hope this helps one of you guys out, especially if you guys have that shooting ability and needed a little bit more athleticism. Check it out. I'll catch you next time.